number 12. And let's see, submittal of a ballot measure to voters to increase and clarify application of the hotel room tax. This brings us to item number 12, as stated on our agenda, submittal of a ballot measure to voters to increase and clarify application of the hotel room tax. At the request of the Tustin Chamber of Commerce, the city attorney has prepared the necessary documents for us to place a measure on the ballot to increase the hotel bed tax. And we have a brief staff report from our city attorney regarding this.
We do, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Let's go ahead and start up the PowerPoint. Through that. In 1978, the City Council enacted a hotel bed tax at a rate of 6%, and since then there has been no change in that rate, despite the fact that it's been 36 years. It's now the lowest bed tax rate of any city in Orange County that has such a tax. 20 Orange County cities have bed tax rates of 10% or more. And Anaheim's rate is currently 15% by comparison, and Garden Grove's is almost that high at 14.5%. At the July 1st council meeting, as the mayor referenced, the Tustin Chamber of Commerce did request that the council place a measure on the November ballot so that the voters in Tustin could decide whether to raise the hotel bed tax, which is also, by the way, known as a transient occupancy tax, but better known as a hotel bed tax, to a rate of 10%. The hotel bed tax only affects those who come to Tustin and who stay temporarily, that is 30 days or less, in a hotel, timeshare, or other structure for dwelling, lodging, or sleeping purposes. Residents of Tustin don't pay this tax unless they just happen to stay in a hotel in Tustin for less than 30 days. As the Chamber of Commerce requested, my office did prepare the necessary documents to place the measure on the ballot in November with your approval. The measure also contains some clarifying amendments to the current ordinance, and it also clarifies the scope and application of the tax due to some changes in the law and in the hotel industry since the adoption of the ordinance. If the voters approve the initiative, the city staff estimates that the additional revenue to the city would be approximately $500,000 each year. Now, in order to adopt it, California law requires two steps. The first is that the resolution placing the matter before the voters in November must be approved by 2/3 of the council. In this case, since there are 5 members of the council, that would require four affirmative votes. And then once it's on the November ballot, the ordinance itself must then be approved by a majority of the voters. The recommended action is to adopt Resolution 1451 to submit a ballot measure to the voters to increase the hotel bed tax from 6% to 10%, and then direct staff to take all necessary steps to place the matter on the ballot, including soliciting ballot arguments regarding the matter. With that, I'll turn it over back to the council.
Okay, thank you. I will now open the item for public testimony. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on this matter?
No, we have not received any requests.
Okay, I'll now close the public testimony and return to the council. We have been advised by the city attorney that placing this item on the November ballot requires affirmative 4 members of the city council. And do I hear a motion to approve staff's recommendation?
Before I make a motion, I'd just like to make one comment. It's about time.
Okay. So,
This was in 78, and so it's about time.
okay.
So I'll second the motion, but I do have a quick question
All righty.
for our city attorney.
Thank you.
On long-term stays, are there any cities that do anything in regards to bed tax as far as that goes, or is that pretty much exempt across the board in the county? Do you know?
Ordinarily, the definition of the transient occupancy tax is a 30-day stay or less, and
Okay,
I'm not aware of any exceptions.
Okay, thank you. That was my only question. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Gomez.
I think this is a good move. I don't travel as much as I used to, but I've taken a couple of trips in the past year, and let me just give you a sampling of a couple of cities.
Yeah.
I was recently in Santa Clara, and their TOT tax was 9.5, and then they had some other district improvements as well as some additional taxes, which that was another $1.14 a night. In San Diego, the TOT tax was 10.5%, with tourism tax and district improvement taxes, which amounted to about $2.50 a night. Washington DC, which I also travel to, was 14.5%. They didn't have any other improvement taxes on there, so it was a straight 14.5%. Chicago had a state tax, a state occupancy tax of 6% and a local tax of 7%. So that's just my personal experience in the past year. So I think that the TOT tax of 10% is very reasonable. And since it doesn't affect our residents, but will affect people that come to our town in order to provide services and other items, I think it's appropriate to do that in light of the fact that it is only 6% now.
Well, if you look at the comparisons to other cities in Orange County, we're still kind of at
On
the
the low
mid-level. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
as you both have said, and as it's important for the public to realize, that this just assists us in paying for services of the city that we pay for through our property taxes. So it certainly doesn't make up for everything, but it's a step in the right direction. So we have a motion and a second. Any other commentary, colleagues?
Could I ask one more question?
Yes, certainly.
The 500,000 that was mentioned, is that with our existing hotels now, and it's not a projection with any future hotels?
That's correct.
Okay, so in the event that we have more hotels, then that could obviously bring in more revenue?
That's correct.
Okay,
Right.
okay, thank you.
All right. Anything further?
Just kind of a clarification, this is, for the public, this is just to put the measure on the ballot.
That's
We're-
correct.
We're not
Correct.
voting
We're not-
to
no.
increase any taxes.
That's right.
okay?
Right.
This
That's
is to
up
let
to
the
the
public
public.
decide if they want to do that. Secondly, this is all for hotels only, not for residents. So
That's
I know
correct.
that Councilmember Gomez had mentioned that, but just wanted to clarify as well.
That's correct. Good points to bring up. Thank you, Councilmember Nielsen. All right. Any other dialogue, colleagues? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Okay, that takes us to item number 13.
That's our chamber.
That's our